Long before humans walked the Earth, other civilizations were already reaching for the stars. On the shores of Samaras, Mills watches his daughter Navine play, cherishing every moment. He tells his wife, Alia, that he's taking a 2-year mission, longer than usual, just to afford the treatment Navine needs. Before leaving, he teaches Navine how to whistle with her hands, a small memory to hold on to. Time passes. Mills is now piloting a ship full of passengers in cryosleep. But then, disaster. A sudden storm of meteorites tears through the vessel. Mills scrambles to the cockpit, issues a distress signal, and steers the ship toward the closest planet. The ship splits in two. As Mills braces for impact, his mind drifts to Navine, and everything goes black. He wakes up alone, bleeding, a shard of metal lodged in his stomach. Gritting through the pain, he removes it, burns the wound shut, and suits up. Exploring the wreckage, he finds the cryochamber ruined. His crew gone. Outside, in the stillness of an alien world, a creature slithers beneath the surface of a murky pool. The escape pod is missing. It landed with the other half of the ship, somewhere far. Mills sends out a desperate SOS. But hope fades fast. Gun in hand, he almost gives in. But then, her voice. He plays Navine's old messages, clinging to the sound of her laughter, and decides to keep going. Suddenly, the computer picks up a signal, a working escape capsule nearby. Mills hurries over to her and finds someone alive, a young girl named Koa. He rescues her, but on their way back, he spots a massive paw print in the dirt. This isn't just any planet, it's Earth, 65 million years ago, and it's crawling with dinosaurs. That night, as darkness falls, Mills dreams of Navine, her voice angry, asking where he is. The next morning, his mission is clear: save Koa. He tries to locate the other half of the ship, but the scan turns up nothing. Stepping outside, he finds towering bones, proof this world is deadly. Then, out of nowhere, a blast of boiling geyser knocks him back. Shaken, he spots something glinting on a distant mountain. A scan confirms it. The rest of the ship is there. But before he can plan a route, a small dinosaur attacks. Mills fights it off, beating it down with his gun. Then, more noises. Koa's gone. He finds her running through the forest. He chases her, and they tumble down a ledge, right onto a massive, rotting dinosaur corpse. Suddenly, the ground trembles. Something even bigger is coming. Mills grabs Koa and runs. Back at the ship, he treats her injury, trying to explain everything. But they don't speak the same language, and the translator's dead. To explain their mission, Mills draws the mountain on a tablet using red powder, showing Koa where they need to go to escape. Koa draws her family next to it. She understands the word family, so Mills gently lies, telling her they're waiting on that mountain too. He sends out another SOS while Koa stumbles on Navine's old recordings. Through her eyes, we see the truth. Navine got worse during that first year. At first, her messages were full of love, but over time they turned cold. She was angry, hurt. Her father had left her when she needed him most. When Mills sees Koa watching the tapes, he quickly shuts them off. It's time to move. They pack up and begin their journey across the wild terrain, quiet and careful with every step. Each time Koa stumbles or slows down, Mills is there. Not just as a protector, but slowly becoming something more. One day, Koa notices something glowing red in the sky, but keeps it to herself. Tired of walking, she throws berries at Mills just to annoy him. He scans them and warns her. They're poisonous. She rolls her eyes. Later, a giant bug lands on Mills's neck. When he slaps it, he ends up covered in goo. Koa laughs, and Mills plays along, teasing her with his sticky hand. Their fun is cut short when a tree crashes down in front of them. From behind a ledge, strange sounds echo. They peek over and find a small dinosaur, trapped in thick, sticky sap. Koa rushes to save the trapped dinosaur, her heart too big to leave it behind. Mills warns her it's dangerous, but when she won't back down, he helps her just to get it over with. The creature limps away, only to be torn apart moments later by predators. Mills pulls Koa into hiding, shielding her eyes. But she knows, she hears, and she cries. Once it's safe, they move on, stopping by a waterfall to rest and refill their bottle. Mills checks his stomach wound. It's worse, but watching Koa reminds him of Navine, and that's enough to push forward. Koa picks flowers and begs Mills to wear one in his hair. He caves. For a moment, there's laughter, a rare piece of peace. But soon, Mills's scanner loses the mountain. He climbs a tree for a better view, only to fall, snapping his arm out of place. Koa helps him brace against a tree, but it's not enough. Dinosaurs are closing in fast. So Mills tells Koa to step on his arm. The brutal push pops it back in place. Gun in hand, he buys her time, setting off bombs that tear through the herd. The survivors leap at him. He fights them off, one by one. Meanwhile, flying beasts swoop near Koa. She crawls to hide, but it's too late. One of the ground predators finds her and strikes. Mills arrives just in time, killing the attackers, all but one. It lunges from the shadows and drags Koa off. Mills chases it down and scares it away with a shot. But now Koa is shaken, terrified of him. So Mills gives her space, sits quietly, and waits. As night falls, he whistles, just like he used to with Navine. Koa hears it, and answers with her own family's call. They move on together, reaching a cave to rest. Mills sets up defenses, scans the sky, and finally sees it. The meteor. It's coming. Fast. Mills isn't worried. The meteor looks small, but Koa distracts him, revealing she brought one of Navine's tapes. He's angry at first, but then presses play. Navine's voice calms them both. As he tries to sleep, Mills is haunted by the memory of that call from Alia. The day Navine died. Silent tears fall. Later, the cave sensors go off. Something's near. He checks Koa and panics. A bug is squirming in her mouth. He kills it with a tool, and she chokes out the remains. Then the sensors erupt again, and a massive dinosaur appears. Mills fires, then grabs Koa and escapes through a narrow gap at the back of the cave. They run blindly through the dark, unaware a smaller predator is tailing them. Eventually, they reach a dead end. Mills tries to dig through a tight rock passage, but after hours, he gives up. Koa refuses. She keeps repeating family. Mills tries to explain the truth. That her family's gone, but she doesn't understand. Then he has an idea. He uses bombs to blow open a space just wide enough for Koa. He hands her the rest of the explosives for safety, and she crawls through to scout ahead. She makes it. There's space beyond. Mills starts following, but the tunnel collapses behind her. He screams, alone again. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps. It's back. Mills races to the previous cave, tracking the beast with his scanner. When it lunges at him, he's ready, but it knocks the gun from his hands and bites into his arm. Fighting through the pain, Mills grabs the scanner and triggers a piercing sound, one that cuts through the dinosaur's ears like a blade. With the creature distracted, Mills grabs his gun and finishes it off. Meanwhile, Koa makes it outside alone. She finds a giant bone, wraps it with poisonous berries, and leaves, a makeshift weapon, and stashes it in her bag. Mills finally escapes the cave. But then, his scanner reveals the truth. The meteor he saw earlier was just a fragment. The real impact, a planet-killing extinction event, is only hours away. Suddenly he hears Koa scream. She hides in a hollow tree as a dinosaur closes in. Mills rushes to help Brau, but falls into a pit of quicksand. Sinking fast, he calls for Koa, but his voice fades under the surface. Koa hears him. Brave and trembling, she waits until the dinosaur enters the tree, then throws a bomb. It works. The beast drops. Koa races to Mills, leans over a tree and pulls him free. They embrace, shaken but alive. He explains what's coming. They have to move, now. By evening, they reach the mountain's base. Mills ties a rope around Koa, and she climbs first, looping it smartly through trees and rocks so he can follow. At the top, they find the other half of the ship. Mills powers it up. A rescue vessel is on the way. Koa searches for her family and finds the shattered cryopods. Realizing Mills lied, she breaks down in tears. Mills quietly hands her a photo of Navine, his own daughter, lost while he was out saving others. "I can't let that happen again," he whispers. Koa sobs and they hug, finally understanding each other. Suddenly, debris from the meteor begins to fall. They run into the emergency pod, just in time. But before Mills can launch, a chunk hits the ship, sending them tumbling down the mountain. They're knocked out cold. Koa wakes first and slams the launch button. But the pod's tilted, it won't lift off. Mills stirs as a massive dinosaur begins tearing into the pod. The gun's outside. Mills makes a run for it, but it's jammed. A second dinosaur arrives. Mills scrambles behind wreckage and fixes the weapon. Now cornered, he prepares for the worst. Then, Koa plays a recording of Navine. A hologram flickers to life, her voice filling the air. Mills, heartbroken, thinks it's one final goodbye, but the dinosaurs take the bait and charge the illusion. Using the distraction, Mills bursts from cover and kills the first dinosaur. The second one is already pushing the pod, trying to get to Koa, but Mills fires again, landing the final blows. The beast collapses. Ironically, its attack has knocked the pod into launch position. But before Mills can return, the dinosaur from the cave, the one he thought was dead, charges at him. Mills runs, leading it toward the geysers. A blast of scalding water hits its face, but it's not enough. Then Koa appears. She drives the poisoned bone straight into the creature's eye. Blinded and panicked, the dinosaur stumbles onto another geyser. This time the eruption scorches its belly, and the beast finally dies. Mills and Koa rush back to the pod and launch, seconds before the meteor slams into Earth, ending the age of dinosaurs. As the pod climbs into space, the autopilot locks onto the rescue ship's signal. They're finally going home. Mills closes his eyes, imagining Navine waiting for him. Koa quietly takes his hand and holds it tight.